Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Nisi, and guess what? I'm back. What happened is that okay, I'm going to tell you the exact story of what happened. So this is my first video on my second YouTube handle that I just created, because the first one I will tell you the story like I said. So today is like a storytelling video about how we came about the second YouTube channel of mine. So please, if you're new to my channel, if you're my new friend or a new admirer, or just somebody who just like stumbled over my page, please don't hesitate to hit the subscribe button, like, and you can also comment. Hey, I love the comments, you know, it makes it very interesting and it makes it very, you know, very fun. So yeah, I'll just get right into it. So what happened to me was in let me see, in August I actually already had a YouTube video running. In August I went to the park. Actually, so I went to the park with I had a little picnic with my darling friend Cherise. And when we got to the park, it's this park in Rosebank. Yes, the Rosebank Park, Rosebank, Johannesburg, South Africa. So I went to the park to meet Cherise and her kids, and we had like the most amazing evening. Like, we took the most amazing photos, and you know, we had a little bit of fun. We ate, we danced, we had time to talk about things, we prayed together, and then right after everything we decided to, you know, like go back home, because like it was getting late, and at the time her husband was supposed to come and pick her up. So at the back of our heads, we were like, okay, when he comes to pick her up and the kids, then they'll just like drop me off someplace closer where I could get like pick up a taxi and whatnot. So I wasn't in a hurry. That was why I didn't think of taking a boat, because I was like, okay, I'm hurrying back home. I don't really have much to do because I don't have anyone to chill with and talk to. So basically I wasn't in a rush to go back home. So pretty much we requested so when we got to, we took a walk. Actually, when we took a walk, and guess what, at the park there were people, kids, families, pets, and also there were cops. So like there were cops driving around, and there were cops just like standing at a few locations around the park area and also the residential area. Now I took we took the residential route, the one leading towards the clinic and, you know, out to the road. So that road leading to Joburg, and the other Joburg CBD, sorry, and the other one leading to like when you're getting to Randburg, Four Ways, Santon, that other side. So yeah, so when we started walking up the road, and guess what, just to add to that, that street had cameras, like cameras facing like the whole street from 4 angles. So from the angle we came from the other angle across the road, and from the angle, so it's like a T-junction kind of. So there were cameras facing each side of the road. Now when we got there, because it was cold, I was wearing boots, and we had jackets, and my friend was like, oh Nisi, my husband isn't coming to pick me up again, so we'll just do a boat. So she tried to request on her phone, and it wasn't really going through. So she asked if I could please help her to request a boat. And funny thing is, I had this weird feeling that something was just going to go wrong. I don't know what it was, but I just had this weird feeling. But you know, when you just like ignore your feelings and your thoughts, and you're like, it's whatever, like maybe I'm just being paranoid, you know. And I actually, after I requested the ride, the car came and he picked them up. Now I waited with her because she had 2 kids and I needed her to get into the cab safely, seeing that I'm the one who requested for this ride on my phone. Now as at then, I was using an iPhone 11 and it was pretty new, like it was just about 6 months or 7 months tops. And when she got into the car, I was standing with another guy. So we met this guy right by the road and we just asked him questions on how to get into the taxis for me to be able to go back to Four Ways. And he told me, okay, the taxis pass through this way, I'm also taking a taxi and all that. So I'm like, okay, cool, so it means we could go together, yeah? And he was like, yes. I'm enjoying my red wine. So we did, I waited with him, my friend took off, and after she left, then a taxi came. Now when this taxi stopped right in front of us, I was trying to get into the taxi. Now don't forget we had a picnic, so I had few things that I was holding in my hands, and you know, just when I had one of my legs, like one of my feet inside the taxi and the other one on the ground, from nowhere somebody just came and my phone started ringing, and against my better judgment I picked up this call. And I just picked up this call and I was like telling my friend Debbie, because she called, I was like, Debbie, it's not safe for me to pick the call. And then I just heard someone grab the phone, like I felt it. Someone grabbed the phone from my ear, so I was holding it like this and they grabbed it, and they were grabbing it with 2 hands, and I was like struggling for the phone. But at first I thought it was this guy that I was standing with trying to take the phone from me to ask me to put it away because it wasn't safe for me to pick calls. But then I didn't think it wasn't safe because it was a very quiet neighborhood. It had a lot of cameras, there's a hospital, it has a park, there are so many policemen driving around, standing around, so I just didn't expect it. And then I turned around and I was like, what's going on? I was confused. And then this guy was struggling to grab the phone. Oh my goodness. As he was struggling to grab the phone, he grabbed it and then he kind of ripped the bag I was holding, because it was a paper bag, and he hit it, so it kind of ripped. And then I grabbed him, like everything was happening based upon reflex. I grabbed him by his neck, and I was like, not his neck directly, but you know, he was wearing like a sweatshirt, so I grabbed the sweatshirt like this, like from the back, and I'm like, what's going on? I was confused, but I grabbed him because I knew he had my phone. And this guy was looking at me like he didn't expect that from me, because usually I see cases of people being mugged. I've seen a lady literally being mugged, and those guys, they had like a gun on them. But this guy, I think he did not really expect the kind of reaction that he got from me, because most girls would be screaming, and most girls would be paranoid, and most girls would be going crazy. But I didn't go crazy. I wasn't screaming. I was like, what the hell is this? And I grabbed him. And when I grabbed him, he was struggling to like let go of himself, and he was holding the phone. And I think I was so lucky that he didn't have a knife and he didn't literally stab me. Well, if I had a knife, I promise you, I definitely would have done something about it. I had no knife, I had no pepper spray, I was just defenseless. So he was struggling to let go of himself, and then, you know, he did win, because I was holding a bag, and I was holding my own handbag, and I had my jacket, and you know, he let go of himself and he escaped from my grip, and he got into this car that was waiting for him right in front of the taxi, and then he drove off. Now the thing is, like, the funniest part of the story is that this guy, as I held him, there were people in the taxi, like, you get, there were people in the taxi. The guy standing beside me was also standing there. Nobody came down to help me. You know, when you catch a thief, normally people rush towards you and they are trying to see what's happening and grab the guy, because they had their engine still running. But And the driver also for the taxi had his engine still running. And the women in the taxi were screaming when the guy came right behind me. And, you know, the guys were just looking. And, you know, I was talking to them. I was like, please go after these guys. And the women in the car were telling the driver, drive after them, go after them, let's chase them. Because it's like you have to go through like a few streets before they burst out on the major road. And he was like, well, me is dangerous, and me, I cannot do that. And I'm like, Jesus, you guys, you taxi drivers in South Africa, like, you guys do the worst, you guys do the most, and all of a sudden you cannot help me stop this guy who just robbed me. Like, this is crazy. And, you know, the driver just drove around a little bit, and he was like, no, Marami, I cannot. And that was how I went home. Very sad. Very, very sad. I lost my phone. I lost I lost all the means of getting my YouTube handle back, because my SIM card that I had on the phone was what was registered on the YouTube. I had the password saved, I had the email saved, everything was on the phone. I mean, I see it happen to people. I've heard about it happening to people. I just didn't think that that was going to be my own situation, that I was going to be a victim. And I was like almost about leaving South Africa. So I was like, oh wow, thank God I'm going to leave South Africa, and I was never going to experience that horrible situation. I was traumatized. And that wasn't all. I got back home, and when I got back home, Cherise was kind of like wondering what's going on, because she knows me. I'm always online, like, you, except if I'm busy or my battery's off, which barely happens, or I'm in a meeting or I'm working. I'm always online, because like some of the things I have to do has to do with me being online anyway. So yeah, I'm always online. And she said she realized I wasn't online, and she texted me and she wasn't getting response. And guess what? So these people, when she tried to call, they sent her a text message telling her that your iPhone has been stolen, and you need to sign in or give us your Apple ID password so we can recover it. This message is from Apple. This message is from Apple. And I was like, okay. So when I got home, I got a hold of her through Instagram, actually, because I had to log on my neighbor's my neighbor, my friend Lola. She had to give me her tablet, and I logged on, and I had to, like, I started chatting my people. I told Cherise, and Cherise was like, oh, this is what I got. This is the message that they sent to me. And I'm like, she said, it's like Apple is working towards recovering your phone for you. And I'm like, yeah, but Apple is not, they're not magicians, you know. How do they know that my phone was stolen? And she was like, I don't know, but let's try to log on and give them the password so maybe they could help you find your phone. Then I'm like, okay, you know what, it's getting late, because we were talking all through the evening, and I'm getting sad and I'm getting angry, and I'm like, I don't want to think about this right now. I don't want to make any rash decisions. I'm just going to take my time and wait for tomorrow and go to the designated Apple store and tell them what happened to me and see if really the message was coming from them. And it was the longest night. But I did wake up early in the morning, and I went to the Apple store in Sandton, and when I got there, they told me that no, Apple did not send you that message, and they told me, do not give them your password, because when you do, you've given them the whole access to your phone. Like, they will get in there, they will kick you out and sweep out your phone and sell it and all of that. And I'm like, okay, I wouldn't do that. Now, that wasn't just it. Yeah, they did ask me if I had Find My Phone on, and I didn't have it on, so they couldn't trace the phone. And they said I should bring certain, you know, paperwork that will help them to you know, recover my phone if possible. I went to the police from around the area where I was robbed. I told them about the cameras, I told them the situation, and they didn't help me. Like, do you know, literally I told them I was robbed, and they asked me, where are you from? And I said, well, what has that got to do with the situation? They said, where are you from? Where is your passport? Are you here legally? And I was so upset. It's ridiculous. Like, they didn't even care about anything that I was saying concerning the robbery. I went back to the scene. I tried to get the footage, and it was hectic. They told me to call the companies. The companies were asking for a police report. The police were not helping me, and Apple Store was also asking for a police report for them to be able to follow up on the situation. And I was like, God, I don't know what to do. Like, that's it, I'm done. And it was so frustrating, so I just left it, and I went back to using my tiny little iPhone SE. And you know, but then the most annoying and most ridiculous thing that kept on happening was that these guys kept on calling. So any number that calls my phone, because they couldn't get in, right? They couldn't break through my password, they couldn't do anything, so they kept on calling daily for 2 weeks, asking anybody that cares to respond that, hey, they want to speak to me. Okay, so I got the number, and I called, and I was like, what is it? What's the problem? Are you going to give me back my phone? I could pay something to get it back. And they were like, no, they pretended to be calling from Apple Store from Midrand, and that they noticed my phone was stolen, and they want to help me recover it, so I should provide them with my Apple ID and password. And I said, I cannot do that. I said, if you're in Midrand, tell me your name, and I'll come to Midrand and I'll meet you and we'll sort it out. And they said, no, you have to give it to us over the phone before you come. Then I said, no, but I cannot do that. And you know, they kept on calling me like for 2 weeks daily, asking me to provide them with the details that they needed. At some point it became a case of, yeah, we're the ones who stole the phone, but we need your password. I also asked my friend Isabella's boyfriend Gucci to kind of like try to see if he could buy the phone back from them. So he sounded like somebody different who got the number and wants to buy the phone from them, buy an iPhone actually. And then he described the kind of iPhone he wanted, which was a very close description to exactly the phone that was stolen. And they told him, okay, don't worry, and they were ready to sell it to him at a very ridiculous and stupid amount. Oh my God, I would have bought it back, but they told him to hang on. They need to they will let him know. And then since he contacted them, they've been putting so much pressure on me to give them the password and the Apple ID. And I kept on saying no, I refuse to budge, because already I was told at the Apple Store that if I do, that is game over for me. So I was like, you know what, I rather we lose. So I rather lose the phone and they don't gain than for me to give it to them. Now what Apple told me is that this is the case, and this could help anyone who loses their phones or gets robbed or mugged or have it stolen. So if they ask you for this information, do not give it to them, because that way they cannot break into your phone. And if, according to Apple, if they manage to do that, the phone is going to be problematic for the rest of the person's life. And that's if they are able to, if they manage to, which is highly impossible. And if they cannot, then they have to sell the phone in parts. So maybe sell the screen, sell the battery, sell whatever, like just the phone parts, just rip it apart and sell it. And you know that that's going to be a huge loss on their part. So yeah, that was how it all happened. I mean, I was very sad. I was frustrated. I didn't buy a phone for like more than 5 months because I was defeated. I didn't know what to do. and eventually I got this phone. So when I got this phone, I tried to reset my YouTube channel again, but I was having a very difficult time doing that, so hence I lost the page entirely. So if you've been following me and you've enjoyed, you know, watching everything I have to talk about, please invite your friends and like and subscribe and follow. I have a lot of interesting things I want to share with you. And you know me, I don't talk based on anybody's experiences. Everything I tell you is a first-hand experience from myself or people that are extremely very close to me. So yeah, that's what happened. And you know, it's lovely to be back on here, and I cannot wait to continue this journey with you, and hopefully to never lose this page again. And I would also like to, maybe YouTube should bring this to their notice and find a way to help people recover their accounts even when they have their numbers stolen, because I tried all of that. I went online, I checked different videos, and I couldn't do it, and it's so disappointing and heartbreaking. But if you do want to see my other videos, I could find a way to attach the handle somewhere in there for you. But for now, I'm here now, and I hope you enjoyed my little story. As horrible as it may sound, that's exactly what happened to me. So well, until next time guys, bye.